Morning again, everyone. I'm back. This is going to be, well, not exactly different. But anyway, I came across something. And there's also a confirmation, also, to bring this up. Because I spoke about this to someone, well, a few, not that long ago. Anyway, it was about a lot of memories. And technically, should be brought back. Now, how I only knew one grandparent. I never met the others, my Nona and Nono. I only met my grandma, who I called Nanny. Who I visit, every other day because at that time, she was closed. We brought her to our home to have her stay, for a while, and etc. But anyway, how it was, everyone got together, like I said, once a week in my parents' home. We had, dinners. And whoever stopped by, they joined. How my grandparents, when we went to go visit, well, my nanny, because I never got to see my grandma, my Nona or my Nono. But their children, when we went to visit, took over doing the same. I know my dad and my mom did. When we went out there to have, family dinners, or visit, dinner was being made, and once everything was done, you had to sit at the table. No, wait a minute. Or, I'll be right there. I'm doing something. None of that. No phones were at the table. Or, oh, wait until commercial. Or whatever. No TV. You sat down. And we all ate together. And no one left the table. Unless, you had to go to the, to the bathroom, or, had to go get something. Everyone was part of a conversation, even the children. even though, adults were at the table and the children had their own table. Didn't matter. Everyone was all part of what was being said or what was going on. But then, when my dad, when we had, the family dinners or get together or whatever, I mean, still the same. Like if people brought their children or whatever, they had their table and the adults were at the table. But if there wasn't any other children and it was just, me and my siblings, we were allowed at the adult table. Same rule. We all sat at the table. Once everything was done, it was put on. We were in the conversation. And then once, everyone was all done and everything, it depends. I mean, like for holidays, we put everything in and on from 9 o'clock. This way it was done. And usually, we had different things from 11 in the morning. And then dinner would, our meal was done about, 2, something like that. And we sat at the table from whatever time all the way up until we were done dinner, which was 8 o'clock at night, in conversations, everything, talking about whatever. And then, when it was time for children, to go lay down, if others were here, they had somewhere to, rest or, put TV on, whatever. While the guys, they played, cards, pinochle, whatever. It was their time. And then when we got older, even though it was their time, and, a person was short, like a partner or whatever, whoever knew how to play pinochle, which I did. I don't remember it too much because it's been years. I used to be someone's partner, which was always my dad. We used to play. And that was all the way up until, 3 in the morning. But then, football games started, every Sunday. It used to be every Sunday everybody got together. So we had same thing. People would come over, for with the football and stuff like that. We all had to be at the table, and we had the game on in the other room. This way they can hear it. But then we changed it. We would have dinner. Everybody came, whatever, the night before. This way, whatever we had on Sunday, this way the guys could watch their football games. And we had a lot that sat here and watched football games. The women did whatever, and the men, the guys, watched their football games. And whatever was made or whatever, this way they wouldn't miss their football. They had it where they were watching the game. I mean, unless you, were like, I don't know, just say a doctor, or, you were on call, like in case of, that you had to go for like an emergency, that you needed to fix something or whatever. That was you're the only ones that were allowed to have a phone with them. Not to constantly, keep checking. If you have off that day, there's no reason for you to constantly keep checking, especially at a family, whatever, dinners or whatever. Again, there's not enough of that because people don't want to get to know each other. We have block parties. This way we can get to know our neighbors. And technically, then only that block was the only ones supposed to be there. Now, if the following block wanted to join, everybody made something. We had one spot for whatever people made, or brought out their, helped each other to make the event. We had, all kinds of stuff. We had entertainment, we got to know each other. If one's on the next block knew about it, if they wanted to join, they let us know. They wanted to bring something to add to, whatever. Because you do know when you have block parties, you involve, authorities, which you have to. And there shouldn't be any problems. If anybody knows about it or whatever, and you're pissed off, whatever. I mean, some areas, a whole family lives on the same block or whatever, how it may go. There shouldn't be any problems to ruin anybody's whatever. It shouldn't be that way. If you want to get to know your block or whatever, or anybody, you stop in or whatever. You get what I mean. Because like I said, when my grandparents, Nona and Nono, they knew the whole entire block, even the next block and the next block. Everybody took care of each other, protected each other. Everybody was out watching each other's kids. And back then, if a daughter or a son, had a date, you took a walk, but you also had, people around, not getting into your business or whatever. Protection. Around. You went to go get coffee. Or a dinner or whatever. And then, like the guy meets the family. I don't know if it's in all families, but well, my dad was, and I've said this before, my dad was an Italian and Greek. You got the third degree, not the third degree, you had to answer all these questions, what your intentions, you know how it all is. I've said this in my other video. You bring it, all back. I mean, I can see, in some cases, you go away and get married or whatever. See, back then, you had to ask. The girl's father. Or who's next? Brother, or, like that. Everyone always knew. Had to be known where are you going, and if you moved from there, everyone needed to know if you moved from that spot that you said you were going to, if you're going somewhere else, was told. You know, today, you had to be a certain age in some cases, in order for you to date, you know. Unless you grew up with each other and whatever. But the thing is, how is it that, and why is it that people have to follow people? As in, it's wrong, and to fit in somewhere, that you have to do something that is wrong. You either sneak or whatever. Why is that going on also? Children are growing up too fast. They're doing adult stuff or whatever before they have to. Well, put it this way, if children want to do adult stuff or whatever, well, then they can be accountable for doing adult stuff. They want to be disrespectful or not do things, people need to, children, adults, whatever, need to learn how to, pick up after themselves. It's not only one person that is supposed to do everything. I mean, I can see, like deep cleaning or whatever, keeping up with stuff. But, try to keep it instead of just throwing things all over the place for only the one, that you think should do it. What's really being taught? You do know that, parents can't be everywhere. Okay? Or everyone can't be everywhere, as like an adult or whatever, but you have others. Take your children. They go to people's places. Okay? Expecting the other parents to be there, or not finding out if they're going to be there. This is how things start. If we did that, or our parents did that, you can't imagine how much trouble we would be in. And what they did wasn't really being abusive. Okay? Not like today. Or as when I was an adult. Or became an adult. From then and now, it's really out of control. As in being abusive. And ones who think that took and continuing what people think that is being abusive. But it is if you did it in a bad way. Take yelling or trying to correct without telling, going against, a child or an adult or whatever. Verbal abuse, as in you're ugly, you won't amount to anything, telling to down a person. You are yelling and correcting. You're not supposed to do that. I told you you cannot do that. I mean, when you get to that point, that means that, all the other 50 million times you say, you need to do this or whatever. But then it gets to the point where you yell it, and then you have people interfering saying you're being abusive. Now, cursing. Now, it depends on how you curse, whatever. That's being abused, or it's a sin, or whatever. If God, now it depends. I was brought up, if I said F, whatever. When I was man, F you, I wasn't telling you to do that, literally, or being abusive or whatever, like others, how they had it intent to be meant. There's different ways, okay? In anger, you will say anything, but you also need to say no. And people should know also that, it wasn't intent to be meant that way. And if you said that long enough, people should automatically know that you didn't mean to do it that way or whatever. As in cursing or yelling. As long as you don't put someone down. People know and should stay out of people's business when you know very well that you're only correcting somebody or telling somebody. Doesn't matter if you curse, yell, whatever. That you are trying to get their attention. That you got to that point where you're not listening. To compare to that you are harming a child, criticizing, and whatever else. That is being abusive. So no, because people are always in other people's business, trying to tell people, oh no, the only way is their way, etc., etc. But behind the scenes, they're actually doing it, worse than what you are doing, crap like that. You know how it always is. So, children or whoever hears it without realizing it. People, their parents yell and tell them no, that they need to listen to the word no. Where now children are calling authorities, but they still don't understand that they're getting, well, one, themselves in trouble, and also their parents. That are actually trying to correct the right way. But the ones, they're following what their parents do, or not being told, or not taught, or whatever, and learning from other children who are doing all of it, all gets ignored. I mean, I knew things were backwards. But this is really ridiculous. That people are being feared into not doing anything. Because you never know who will be, sneaking around, lurking, and like trying to listen. To say, oh, got them. I'm going to get them in trouble and let whatever I'm doing get taken off of me and put onto these people or whatever. How it's done. It's not hard to get along with people. It's not hard to help somebody that needs it, There's too many thinking that, they're better than or whatever, being, having competitions, with people that don't even know that they're in one, you know, putting people down to have low esteem, or not to be, have confidence, and et cetera, et cetera. It's not hard to boost somebody up. It's not hard for someone, to teach them, you know what? You need to love yourself. Know how you want to be treated. People, need to learn also what it feels like. Some people don't know what love is because they never had it. Because they didn't know how to show it. So they don't show their children, or they don't know how to teach them, or whatever. Why is it that it has to be something to harm somebody or do something, you know? Be, to do, be a bully or whatever. You do know if everybody, works with each other. Doesn't matter, you know, each community come together, make it better. This way, people, who, and with your countries, I can't remember how your community, each community, meaning each town, I think it's each towns there are called paes. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But you get what I mean. You make each one better, where, people can come over here, people can go over to other countries, whatever, feel safe, to learn how people live, maybe get an idea or help, or, whatever. You get what I mean. I've been saying this since the beginning. It's not hard how people make it out to be. Instead of doing all this extra uncalled for stuff, all that effort, that you're putting out to do what? To others. Thinking that you're the only one protected from whatever you're putting out. Like I said, of the awareness. I mean, what people are doing to foods, what people, are doing because, say, I don't know, you don't want the help. Like, for if you have addictions or whatever, That doesn't give you the right to bring everybody else into it. If you wanted it better, then I think you should start working on yourself and say, hey, I need to make it better. You know, instead of getting back worse than what you put out. You know, by people affecting others, what does that prove? I mean, really, what does it prove? All that energy you could have been putting out, helping yourself, healing yourself. This way you can heal and help others. And letting God, you know, and spirit, heaven, whatever, to really show people, you know, how you know, when you do things, you get awards or rewards or whatever, you know, for a great job done. But you need to pay attention to those rewards that he is giving. This way, you'll know when a big reward you will get. Things don't work like, you know, you need to make an effort and work at it. And like I said in my other video, be kind and whatever. Doesn't work instantly or whatever. You have to work at it, make an effort. So all that effort that, okay, I don't know anybody's business. Like, take mine. All that effort that people, since I was a baby, all the way up until now, trying to get rid of me, put every kind of obstacle and prevent it, and put everything that, again, I didn't know was technically all of yours that I fixed. And whatever else. You could have been putting all that effort instead of stealing from me or preventing or unaliving people and whatever else, trying to shut me up and etc. You could have been putting all that towards another way of getting it naturally, and receiving rewards and everything naturally and all the time. You know, it's always backwards how people want to get stuff, thinking everybody lives by, you know, oh, a silver spoon or gets things because everybody's spoiled because of one's, been working at achieving something and working on themselves. Nobody knows what people go through. You know, like all of you thought you knew what I went through. But really didn't. Except for, things that whatever you did. But you didn't know what I had to do to fix everything. I'll just say fix. Among with other things that I had to do in order for me to, fix that. Or how many I had to take care of. Who were doing all of it. Wasn't just the one or the one group. It was many. So, like I said, it's not just one person and their little tiny cliques or whatever you want to call them, thinking that it's just only you trying to get revenge against whoever. There's millions of others that people have to deal with all at the same time. You didn't realize that. How many different groups with a lot in it, and added more to groups. That before I didn't really realize that I took care of every problem that shouldn't have been mine, that I had to deal with and, fix or whatever had to be done. Plus, because like I said, in my family, well, my dad's eyes or whatever, the oldest girl, took over of, keeping everybody together, cleaning, did the house, stuff like that. And the boys, the older ones, did what they have to do. Might not have been like that in your home. For us to get anything, my dad did, well, he tried in between, taking care of others, who took advantage of him, and sometimes, he had to do what he could, as in very, sometimes very little, because he had to take care of everybody. And by the time we came, we didn't see him much or whatever. I started out that way, but now I'm not. I might be like my dad, but I'm not like my dad. I'm not being taken advantage of anymore, and neither are my family. And I'm not going to go and say who my family is for protection. Yeah, they have ones next to them, they have ones around them, in front of them, above them. They have spirit, you know. And like I said, bodyguards around the whole entire world. So don't get that twisted. You don't know who my dad was. And apparently, who my dad is, who is Heavenly Father, God. I'm his baby. I was my dad who was here's baby. Well, all his daughters was his baby, but you get what I mean. You thought you knew who I was. And I said, since the beginning, I always switch up, okay? Nobody can figure me out. The only one that figured me out is God. Okay? See, I know when to switch. When you think you figured me out, you think you figured me out. The only one that knows any of that, well, is my person, but I'm not bringing him into it, okay? Like I said, he knows how I feel. He knows how I am. But for protection, I'll say I'm not getting my hopes up. Well, put it this way, like yous all want, for me to involve anybody, okay? I say what I say all through messages through God. And through my experiences. So, when someone says, well, for me, for one, I told you, you mess with the wrong person. You really don't know who I am and who I know, or who knows me. And all the ones who my dad got. Along with my Heavenly Father, God, my number one Father, who he got for down here. Meaning the same for spirit. You might think you know who my name is too. You don't. So other than the other messages, we should bring back, again, like I said, all the good from, our ancestors, and to continue to make it better and bring back, the togetherness when people did things with each other. To learn things, or, whatever. And when, parents aren't around, if they are going somewhere, the children, or they were invited somewhere, whatever, each parent, no matter wherever it, expects others around, to protect if anyone sees anything or whatever. And that's how it should be. Did our ancestors intend to, they went through a lot, all different things. They solved it. They did the best they could. Okay? They actually taught a lot, really, but they really didn't realize that. They figured that each generation would take it, okay, they solved that, or this happened, or, everybody got together and whatever. Bring all that, to teach the children and others the good stuff, and bring up, okay, yeah, at one time they had this, but they solved it, and if they did it this, like that, how they solved it. Everything is a learning thing, okay? Not to bring back only things to repeat that everybody knows is wrong. The only thing, you get it, as in, the only thing it's saying is that you didn't learn anything. For you to teach something, for, to teach others. And how to make it better. So, Why is it that, because you didn't learn, that you think that it's okay to teach, to continue or whatever others? Well, this is how you get stuff, is by, you know, it depends on who you are. You sit on your butt all day, stalking people, scamming people, making up fake pages, pretend to be somebody, doing this, doing that, whatever, and you get everything. I mean, but you ruin everybody else or whoever, and by doing magic because it ran in the family, but you didn't bother finding out what happened to them by doing all that, doing it wrong, and abusing the gift. You didn't learn all that. You just thought it was so cool, whatever, to do it wrong. And because you grew up with only lies, with some truth there. I mean, I can't say everything was a lie, but you thought by doing that it's better, instead of what really you're supposed to be doing. And that you think by taking other people's energy, destiny, and all that, well, one, that's not going to happen. It will be like you think it happened. But that you're not taking up energy yourself. As everybody tries to put illusions, and, confusion and everything else on to whoever, that you think it's not doing it to you. Making you think that you took, say, me, that you took my energy, but you put on illusion or whatever. Yeah, my energy gets, I get tired because of not, wait, because you stole it. No, it's because I'm always working, as in going through the spiritual, warfare, beating your arses, slaying, being a warrior, a gangster, cleaning up, stuff like that up there. But don't get that twisted. If I really wanted to, I could do it down here too. But I don't. I take care of it up in spirit because I'm allowed to. Okay? So, whatever I do up there, okay, it does come down here. And it will show what I could do down here. But God and Spirit is actually showing you. So don't get that all twisted, okay? I will never do revenge at all. And I will not do magic to harm people. Don't get that twisted either. In spirit, I'm protecting people and defending not only myself, but others. Okay? So don't get that twisted either. I'm not the one that is, how people think, you know, in telling lies how I am. The only thing that you should be telling people, I am God's baby, and I'm proud of it. I stay out of people's business. I'm not a homewrecker. I don't cheat. So I don't expect that. I respect people. I will put people in their place if they disrespect me or others. So do not twist that either. Unless you want lies be brought back to you, which will turn into truth of how you really are. Do not stir up lies about me or anybody. And trying to convince people, you should be ashamed of yourself to do things that they know that they shouldn't, but they're afraid, because you kept trying to convince people to do things that they didn't want to. You do know that, it will catch up to you, right? And you will be punished also, be accountable for something you did. I don't know what this fucking... Get off my phone. Okay? Goodbye. You forget about all that. People can't wait to do, well, like I said in the beginning, thinking that it's a game, that like you off somebody, or we'll just say that you thought that by trying to off me, that, okay, whatever, how many, like in the game, when you get, the hearts back or whatever it's called, energy or lives, that I could go ask somebody or just wait whatever how many hours, you get all those lives back. You thought that's how it worked, that you're not doing any harm or any crime or whatever. As long as you win, you're not really winning. You're just tacking on more stuff to be added, that is constantly being added for everything to come back to you all at once. Because, they're tired of trying to tell you that you were ignoring, and ignoring not only me, others, saying, stop, I wouldn't do that, whatever. Now, everything was just being tacked on, getting longer and longer and longer, along with everything from past lives and, things that if whoever in your family was the one who broke all those, chains and curses for the whole entire family, but you decided to put it back on yourself and your bloodline. That's your fault. But all that is tacked on. So now it's all coming back. Because like I said in my other video, I didn't know I was setting this up, But hey, I'll listen to whatever God tells me. And yeah, I know it's God because I know if something is wrong or right, I'm not here to harm anybody. Whatever anybody did, you set yourselves up. And had it be known to, the public all by yourself. I didn't have to lift a finger to do anything except what I had to normally get done and finish, doing what all of you did, So, I mean, I hope everybody thinks about it, that old school and stuff to make memories, to make legacies, to make it better, to bring people together. I hope it all sinks in. And that everyone deserves whatever. Everyone deserves to be comfortable, have a roof and food, Everyone is enough. And it doesn't matter what position you are in a company or a profession, whatever. Everyone can help in any way. And I'll probably remember what I was really going to say, but I don't know. At that second, I forgot. Doesn't matter how small you are, whoever you are, or whatever. Every opinion, every help, every whatever can make a difference. Animals can help, and you get answers from spirit through animals through signs, music, wherever, whoever. It's time to take action on people who are trying to do whatever to others. As in, Spirit and God already started taking action in everything. That doesn't mean that we cannot still continue to help. We also need to take action and let people know that we cannot live in fear and, to be told to not speak up and etc. We need to start protecting each other. And like I said, if you are going to speak up about somebody, if they're doing something to somebody and you know it and you need to speak up, now it depends, what it is. You go to the authorities and make sure, it gets done and they're charged. This way they won't get away with it anymore. I don't know what people are doing. So whatever that needs to be, charged, put in prison, whatever, etc., etc. You know by the situation. I mean, I can't just off the bat and say, oh, put them in prison. And all they did was I don't know, walked across the street. But somebody thought they walked across the street the wrong way, things like that. Then you go to the authorities or whatever. But you need to tell them the truth, have evidence about it, instead of holding in what you know, thinking that it's okay, but little by little it's going to eat you up and, whatever, not speaking up. And to help each other not to go through any of this. I mean, technically, nobody should cheat and be unfaithful, whatever. I mean, if you want to do all that, you go to those kind of groups or whatever, But if someone's dating somebody, you shouldn't, trying to take somebody away from somebody or break up a marriage or whatever. No, now that's a sin. Now, put it this way. If it is that easy, then whoever knows about it should let that person know also, instead of sneaking around. And if it is that easy, and before you even sleep with them or whatever, you should let that person know. Because, you shouldn't bring back to that person that you're sneaking around behind because you want someone else? How do you know what isn't attached to that person, but you're bringing it back to who you're supposed, whatever? I mean, think about it, people. You know, it shouldn't be none of this BS where, well, I want to go and, soak my oats over here, see how that is, but still have this person because this person's really good and I don't want to let them go. I'll just, continue to go back to them. They'll never know. And then once, I get rid of that one, if they get on my nerves or whatever, at least I'll still have the good one. No, none of this bull. No. No. Once you deceive a good person, there's two things. You snuck around and they found out. But you did it because you didn't want to let them go and to move on and whatever. And they found out. Well, you never know what that person will do. And plus, it's wrong. You should never treat a person like that. And the ones that are meant and whatever, and you are preventing them from doing it because, once they are together that, you tried to break them up or whatever you try, it won't work. Well, that's, one, a crime and a sin. Especially because how you do that, always, but, also with magic and etc. Thinking by getting them occupied with other things that they have to, be involved with and take care of and all that, thinking that it's going to make each other forget. Good one. No. Because once they find out that things are being done, that will be the biggest mistake, like a big mistake. I'm not going to say with, the big mistake of doing all this, to a person. Well, put it this way. You see, I'm God's baby, right? You already took, well, I'm not going to get into it. Never mind. Never mind. That God chose someone, okay? that's meant that everybody's trying to prevent. So you decided to, do all kinds of stuff with magic, all kinds of stuff. And then you knew people that joined your group and knew what field and everything that they worked at. This way they can, do things, find out if, oh, I belong to whatever, etc. You all know what yous did. All the threats I've, heard and everything else. Thing is, I know all of it, what you tried and everything. And so does my DM. He knows one way or another, either by my, my team, especially by God. I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm angry. But not like how you think. I mean, he's the same. I mean, whatever. But the thing is, you keep forgetting about God, what he's about to do, and what some already did. So, they're tired of the excuses of ones doing things. Now, I did this in my other video. They're tired. Now it's time to start collecting for ones to, be accountable for everything what they have done or did or do. So, everyone, like I said, this isn't for, to be against anyone. It's not personal. It's just to wake people up, to pay attention, and, to let everyone know how proud, not only me, but Spirit, of everyone continuing to make it better, making a difference out there. And for those, ones who were doing what they knew that they weren't supposed to and making it better for themselves and their family, we're proud of all of you all around the world. And to continue doing the best that you can. and continue to take action in helping, because now it's time for all these ones that got away with things or whatever they've done. Because they don't have any more excuses of, to come up with why they're doing something, because they have no reason to. But some, they don't, most or whatever, especially in my case, I don't know any of them and they don't know me. They might have heard of me, but, don't know. It's time to bring all, like, the good back, as in doing things together and making it better and taking what we need, as in, life experiences and, to be learned naturally, to learn how to balance the dark and the light naturally. Not by forced, not by, I don't know. Well, forced is, magic and all that other happy horse crap. But, not by convincing people or whatever. And like I said, I don't care who you are, where you live, or how you live, whatever. To make everybody to live, have a roof over their heads, have food, have work, whatever. Everyone should learn how to, come together. And work together to help, to protect each other, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm not repeating. Everyone understands what I'm saying. But anyway, I have to go. I have a lot to do, and I gotta get rid of these hiccups. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, sending lots of love, peace, light, positive thoughts all around the world. And I am so proud of everyone. And we can do it. We will make it happen, and we are making it happen. We are making a difference. And everyone has a purpose. Everyone deserves. So, anyway, have a great morning, day, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And always be grateful that each and every day you wake up, you can make a difference and change whatever that didn't work at that moment or the day before, whatever. Go out there, make a difference. Go help somebody, and in the process, you're also helping yourself. And pay attention to what's around you and whatever. You might get an answer, whatever you thought of before you left to go somewhere. If you can, remember what questions you asked and what it was about, you'll see an answer somewhere that connects to whatever it was. It's learning to pay attention. Also. But anyway, thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Ciao.